All right, thumbs up. Everyone back? I know Darren is back. How about Lynn, Andy, Samuel? Are you back? Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Samuel. Okay, let's proceed. Let's resume. Okay, so we talk about language number one, right? Synchronicity. Let's talk about language number two, the principle of oneness. Okay, the principle of oneness. What is that? That's how we talk about 天人合一, right? It's actually the principle of oneness. Now, the key thing about, yeah, if you want to be 天人合一, right, then the key verse in I Ching is this one. What is it? It says here, 效法自然,自天佑自,吉无不利. Loosely translated, it means be in sync with the universe. So in short, it's like as above, so below. Okay, how nature behave, we just follow lah, huh? Okay, so basically there is a verse in the Wenyan. Okay, verse in the Wenyan, it says that to what do you call that? To explain how to 效法自然. Okay, is 与天地合其德，与日夜合其明，以四时合其序。 Now, Lin say, what's the difference between principle of oneness and the law of oneness? It's the same. It's the same. Some people use law, some people use principle, but it's the same lah. Because we're talking about principle, right? It can't change. This is the way it works, so it can't change. You talk about the law, also lagi jalan, cannot change the law. So this is the way it works. So it's interchangeably used lah. Okay, so yeah, that's how I talk about this. 与天地合其德，与日明合其明，与四时合其序 is found inside the Wenyan. Now, basically, what it means here, if you want to be 天人合一, or if you want to be in sync, or in Chinese called 效法自然, basically you just have to follow this. I pull out this one, will do already. Okay, 与四时合其序. Okay, 与四时合其序 啊。以四时合其序, this 四时 basically means, in short, basically means the 4 seasons. Okay, the 4 seasons. So, like for example, just how I mentioned, if in winter, people, all the other creatures in nature hibernates, but humans special. We go and do sundown marathon. Okay, so we do something special. But by right, if you want to be 效法自然, then during winter we should be slowing down. Okay, we should be slowing down, conserving our energy, preparing for the spring to come. So Lin is asking, then what is the De and Ming? De and Ming. Okay, De means 道德. 道德. All right. So look at how heaven and earth behave. That should what do you call that? Give us a clue how morally we should live our life. Okay. For example, 天地 they don't blatantly kill people. Okay. So therefore, killing is immorally wrong. This is called the. Okay. Ming basically means to be above board lah, right? Above board. So basically it's like that. So and then the 与四时合其序 means follow the sequence, right? Follow the sequence of the 4 seasons. So there you go. So therefore, if you want to follow the 4 seasons, then the best way to learn again is back to Chinese metaphysics. Okay, so again, back to this frequency thing. Since all matters, we already know that everything is vibrating and all matters have its own frequencies. So we can take readings from everything surrounding our living environment and within our living environment. Wrong. Within our living environment. Okay, so frequencies do not act independently. I already mentioned frequency will just bang with each other and see whether they can sync with each other or not. Okay, so they do not act independently and they affect one another. It's just like if let's say today you all log in already, I didn't log in. Okay, I didn't log in. Up to now, I didn't log in. What do you think will happen? No class. You all will just log out after a long wait. Log out. There won't be any class. And then some of you may be angry at me because I did not give any notice at all. Things like that. So you see, my action, every action has its frequency also. Will affect how you all feel as well. Okay, whether you're angry, whether you're bocham, or whether you are happy, hey, today no class, cancel, okay. So it will affect one another, right? So once we understand what frequencies are, we know how to identify them in any place, and we can then assess the impact of the frequencies. Okay, so modern days science today does not have the necessary means to identify and classify the frequency. They can measure, but they can't classify the frequency. For example, they are able to measure, or TV has this frequency, the bed has this frequency, but they can't really classify them as what kind of energy they are having. But fortunately, I Ching has, right? And some of you have already learned this through prediction class, through feng shui class, or to some other courses that you have attended outside. So, which I will briefly go through today also in this program. So now we can tell how our inner world shows up on the outer world, because it's the same thing, frequencies, right? Frequencies. So our inner world will dictate or wrong, right? Dictate how your outer world will turn up to be. So by reading the frequency that shows up in the outer world, we have a fair understanding of what's going on inside the inner world. Okay, so that's how the two worlds match up with the universe. Yeah. So to learn that, we must first learn about universal profiling system. I think in the home frequency tuning we had last month, we already covered that, but we'll go through. So for those who have already learned and very good with universal profiling system, take this as a revision. Yeah. So in short, it's called the earlier heaven 8 trigram. There are more things to earlier heaven 8 trigram, but right now, one of the key function is actually to be used as universal profiling system. Now, I Ching has a system that's able to incorporate the yin yang and the 5 elements. Because like I say, the building block of I Ching is yin yang 5 element. The building block of your outer world is basically none other than the yin yang and the 5 elements. So we need a system to be able to incorporate this and then tell us what it is. So this system is called the universal profiling system. So this system is able to read the energies of any individual unit, for example, TV lah, candle lah, a lamp, okay, or crystal ball, what kind of energy is that? So basically, this system allows us to profile almost anything into one of the 8 basic energy categories called the 8 trigrams. So in short, how it comes about, this 8 trigram, like I say, it all comes from the yin yang again. Okay, so this is one of the chart here. In fact, the universe started out with nothingness, right? And then it become a singularity point. And then from the singularity point, the moment it has a singularity point, it's split into yin and yang. Okay, and from the yin and yang, again, it's split into yin and yang again, right? You find that, for example, this yang here is split it up. It's again add on one yang and one yin. Same thing for the yin. It add on another yang and another yin. So it goes on to another layer. So you have the 8 trigram, right? 8 trigram, and they are sequenced in this manner: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the trigram is being arranged in this sequence, starting from number 1 is 乾卦, number 2 对卦, number 3 离卦, number 4 正卦, number 5 巽卦, number 6 坎卦, number 7 艮卦, and number 8 坤卦. Right? So if you want to use number profiling, then here you go. You have the number profiling. If you see one item, that is a 乾卦. If you see, for example, 2 oranges, then 2 by itself is called a 对卦. If you see 3 candles, then this 3 is a 离卦. The fact that it's number 3 is a 离卦. Okay. So if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, these are the respective trigrams that you can profile into. Right. So in short, if I'm going to show you into a table form, then these are the 8 trigrams again. These are the 8 trigrams again, and you find that above there is a name called primary name. Below there is a name called secondary name. Right? When do we use primary name? When do we use secondary name? Very easy. When the trigram are presented on its own like that, 3 lines, then you use the primary name to call it, to address it. For example, if you see one like that 3 line, this is called 乾卦. 3 line by itself, you use the primary name to address. But if let's say trigram is stacked on top of another trigram and form 6 line called hexagram, then when we address it, for example, 水山简, it is made up of 坎卦 and 艮卦. Okay, but when you put them stacked on one on top of another, they become hexagram, 6 line. Then we address them using the secondary name. 坎卦 is called 水，艮卦 is called 山。Okay, so it is 水山简。简 is the final name for the combined hexagram. All right, so it's just like a monitor by itself is called monitor. CPU by itself is called CPU. But you put a CPU plus a monitor together, they become a new name called computer or desktop or PC. Right? So it's the same, it's very similar. I'm drawing a parallel like this. If you put two trigrams together, they form as uniquely a different energy. And in this case here is 水山简. 简 means 临病, baika. Okay, so there you go. So to quickly get you up to speed, right? In case you all have lose touch with the universal profiling system, to quickly get you up to speed, I think let us re-examine again this 乾卦坤卦. Okay, 乾卦坤卦, where are they, right? On this, let me clear the ink. 乾卦is here. Kun Kwa is here. So it's at the two end of the spectrum. And you'll notice that Qian Kwa, okay, Qian Kwa is three solid line. Okay, three solid line. I mean, all the lines are all yang lines. Okay, so solid line, unbroken one is yang. Okay, broken line is called yin, right? So therefore, Qian is made out of three solid line, Kun is made out of three broken line, three yin line versus three yang line. Okay, so I need your participation here. Okay, so to make it more interactive. But before that, I think Darren has some comments here. Let me read up. Darren said, 德 can be seen as 武德、仁义、礼、智、信. Yes, so it is also based on the moral part. Okay, very good. Thanks for Darren for typing this out. Ming is we can clear as 热明, aka yin yang. Then we are able to cultivate this value and bring meaningful relationship to life. 所有的关系的本质德都是价值交换。Okay, therefore, if I clear myself 以乾卦 do I 用钱 act like 钱 etc. Thanks Darren for this information. So yeah, so we can thanks Darren. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so my question to you, I need your participation here. Let's use this family context. Okay, family context first. And ask yourself, in the family setup, which family member can hold the trigram of a qian gua, three solid yang line? So type in the chat box. In the family setup, which family member do you think can hold the appointment of the qian gua, three solid yang line? Father, okay, thank you, Darren. Andy, sorry, is the father. Then the kun gua, three broken line, three yin line, right? So in the family setup, which one has this extreme yin energy? Right, like I say, don't be too prejudiced regarding too yin energy, because like for example, in a family, the mother role is very very important. Okay, so without the yin, the yin is really the team player. Okay, so kun gua can means the mother. Okay, so qian gua can means the father, kun gua can means the mother. Okay, so in an organization, who can be the qian gua, who can be the kun gua? In the organization, who can be the qian gua, who can be the kun gua? Okay, Lin said head of company. Very good, head of company. Yeah, so CEO is a qian gua. Then the kun gua should be the extreme end of the spectrum lah. Or if you draw a line, if boss is at one end of the spectrum, then who's at the other end of the spectrum? Employees, employees. Very good. I put EE. Employees or customer. Okay, employer, customer. Right, very good. So in terms of country, the 乾卦 should be the head of state. Okay, head of state, depending on their structure. Some is president, some is prime minister, some is chancellor, some is who else? Sultan, depending on their structure. So then the 坤卦 will be the citizen. Okay, 坤卦 will be the citizen. That means the extreme end of the spectrum. Okay, so in terms of nature, no brainer. 乾卦 should be the heaven, and 坤卦 will be the earth. So therefore, when our ancestor name the secondary name for the trigram, they make use of how they show up in the nature. So 乾卦, the secondary name is heaven. 坤卦, the secondary name is earth. Now, straight away from here, I think it's very easy to do profiling already, because we just have to understand the trigram well and then relate it to any context. Any context. So just now we have already go into family context. We can name the 乾卦坤卦. We go to organization context. We can name the 乾卦坤卦. So on and so forth for country and for nature. So animal kingdom. Animal kingdom, name the 乾卦. Animal kingdom, name the 乾卦. If in the human kingdom, king is the 乾卦, then in animal kingdom, who is the 乾卦? The lion. Thank you. So lion is a 乾卦. All right. So let's move on. So how about the other family member? Because we're going to have children, because husband and wife get married, they're going to have children and get promoted to become father and mother. So what about the son and the daughter? So refresher for you if you have already learned this. Now, the secret trick here is, remember the verse, yin sen yang, yang sen yin. So daughters is yin, son is yang. So if you want to get the daughter's trigram, we must use the yang energy to give birth to the yin. So the yang energy in this sense here should be the father, 乾卦. So all we need to do to derive the eldest daughter is to change the first line of 乾卦from yang to yin. Okay, so once we change the first line from yang to yin, we got a trigram called 巽卦, and this 巽卦represents the eldest daughter. Now, to get the second daughter, just go up the line. Change the second line from yang to yin, you get Li Gua. So Li Gua represents the second daughter. And to get the youngest or the third daughter, just change the top line from yang to yin, you get Dui Gua. So Dui Gua can represent the third or the youngest daughter. On the flip side, if you want to derive the son's trigram, okay, so sons being the yang, so to derive them, you need to use the yin trigram, which is the mother, 坤卦. So similarly, to get the elder son, change the bottom line from yin to yang, and you get a new trigram called 正卦, which represent elder son. To get a second son, change the second line to get 坎卦. So 坎卦represent the second son. And to get the third or younger son, change the top line and you get 艮卦. Okay, and you get this 艮卦representing third or the younger son. Now, I'm not going to duplicate what you all have learned in the home frequency tuning, because that will be pointless, right? So what I want to do this time around is to give you a different angle and use this for your career. Okay, use this for your career. Yeah. So because ultimately, I think for most people out there, they are more concerned about their careers than any other thing. Am I correct to say that? Is career one of your bigger concern? Type in the chat box, share your inputs. Right? Because home frequency tuning, we are talking about the home part. Yeah. Yes, Lindsay, yes. Okay, capital yes. Thank you. So therefore, this first gear to fifth, ultimately, when you're able to change your inner world, tune your inner world to be in sync with your outer world, I want you to make use of these skills and knowledge and information to help you with your career. Okay, so let's move on. Samuel said, money equal career. Thank you. And career equal money also. All right. Now the thing about more than or more than or more than. Okay, money is more than career. Okay, yeah, that's right. Money is more than career. Okay, so happiness is more than money and more than career. Okay, now let's talk about, since we are talking about career, because career may bring you in more money and things like that. Then let's take a look in terms of organization hierarchy rank. How do we assign trigrams? So this is just a general guidelines. Okay, so we only use for organization hierarchy, right? We only use the male trigrams. Why only the male? Uh, we need to look back at the history. So in ancient China, during the feudal period, only males get to come out to work. All right. Female will have to stay at home, preparing to be good mother and wife. Okay. So therefore, when we talk about career and going out to work, going out to bring the bacon back home, we only look at the male trigrams, right? So since this is how it's set up, even up to today in modern days, even though they are dual income family, we still use the same setup. Okay, so the female trigram put one side. Not that they are not important, they are important, but then we follow back the old system for now. Yeah. Okay, so we know that 乾卦, the male trigrams are the 乾卦, which means the father, and then followed by the ranking 正卦, elder son, followed by 坎卦, the second son, followed by 艮卦, the third and younger son. So this is the hierarchy hierarchy. Okay, so since this is the hierarchy, we can just look back at your own organization, look at your organization hierarchy. If your organization hierarchy is so what do you call that? So deep, so many layers and sub layers, then you flatten them a bit. Okay, flatten them into 4 major categories. Number 1, who is the toe? Who is the atao? Okay, who is the head? Right. So we can look at organization level. We can also look at a division level or a department level, depending on where you appoint the 太极点 to. If the 太极点 is on the organization, then you look at overall organization hierarchy. Okay, so let's take a look at organization hierarchy first, the overall first. Here. So then in terms of organization, then the number 1 man is the CEO. Okay, or the board of directors or chairman, right? So all these are the 乾卦because they have the authority. And then the next in line, okay, the next in line will be the department head. So the department head will naturally follow the elder son one because why? The elder son will have to succeed the father, right? If the father not around. So same thing, one of the department head probably will have to go and succeed the CEO or stand in for the CEO if there is no DY. Okay, if there's a DY, then DY probably is the 正卦. Let's say there's no DY, then the department head could be the 正卦. And then down the line, section head. Okay, section head. And then the section head could be the 坎卦. And then once you cross the section head, the rest are you can consider as the 艮卦. Okay, 艮卦. The rest you can call it as 艮卦. The rest. Okay. So basically, flatten the hierarchy. If your let's say your hierarchy has a lot of depths, then just flatten it. Okay. So if we shift the 太极 point to departments, okay, to departments, then the atao for the department head will be called the 乾卦. So this department head will wear 2 hats. When he goes back to his own department, he's the king. So he is the 乾卦 in his own department. But when he go up to the to the floor where CEO is and have meeting with the rest, the top management, then he suddenly have to take out the 乾卦and then put on the 正卦 hat. Okay, so you can wear multiple hats, right? Depending on the context. Okay, so if you're talking about a department, then the next in line, the section head will be the 坎卦. And then if there's a supervisors down the line, then the supervisors will be the 坎卦, sorry, the section head, the 正卦, supervisor, the 坎卦. And then the rest will be the 艮卦. So based on this, let me ask you, type in the chat box now, do you know your trigram? You should at least have 2 heads. If you're holding some appointments, like key appointment, then you should at least have two hats. Do you know? Okay, Lin say yes, you do know. You should have at least two hats if you're holding some appointments. Now, this is very important. Okay, this is very, very important. Yeah, if you want to build up your outer world. Okay. Right. So I hope Andy and Samuel and Darren, you know your what do you call it? The, the trigrams. Okay, in terms of career, not home, not home. Okay, but the career, your organization hierarchy. Okay, Darren say yes. Thank you very much. Darren, you only got one trigram, I assume. Andy say yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so we'll come back to that trigram again very soon. Perhaps tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. So this where this universal profiling comes in is that this because this profiling system can be used to represent many other things and profile many other things, right? So it can be profiled into hierarchy ranks, for example. It can be profiled into functional responsibility. So, for example, you may be a department head, but your department is dealing with marketing. Okay, then you have a hierarchy rank trigram, and then you also have a functional trigram. Okay, functional trigram. So if you're doing marketing, what trigram would that be? Marketing? Type in the chat box. If you're doing marketing, what trigram would that be? Di Qua, thank you very much. If you're doing HR, if you're doing HR, what trigram would that be? Kun Qua, very good, Lin. If you're doing operations, what trigram would that be? Okay, Zhen Qua, very good. If you're doing sales, you are doing sales, Xun Gua. Very good, Samuel. Thank you. Thank you, Lin. Okay, so you know, you have a hierarchy trigram, you have a functional trigram. Now, in case, let's say your office, you are a head of department of sales department, for example, your head department, and your department is doing sales. Now, although you may say you are 乾卦, so I take care of the 乾卦, but your southeast, your 巽卦is lousy, is damaged, it still can affect you in some ways. Okay, it still can affect you in some way. So you need to take care of both, right? Your hierarchy and your functional trigrams. I'm not saying the rest not important, but these two will give you a direct impact more than the others, right? So it can also be used to profile colors, shapes, file element, and many, many more lah. Like printer in your office, what is it? Things like that. If you have a monitor in the office, what is it? If you have a water cooler in the office, what is that? Things like that. So you use this 8 trigram profiling system to help you profile and help you decide what shows up. Is it a supporter shows up or a blocker shows up? So I want to quickly run through these two tables. This is the first half of the table, and then this is the second half of the table. I just want to quickly run through before we end today's lesson. Lin said, to clarify, you are saying that we need to know our trigram and then monitor the corresponding sectors that support our trigrams, right? Yes. Yes, it's just like in home frequency tuning, we learn about our personal sector, remember? Based on your family ranking. And I say that if, let's say, at home, your personal sector is affected, it's going to affect you more directly than the rest of the family members. So that is for home. Okay, that's for home. But in your workplace, if your organization trigram and your functional trigram is affected or damaged, then it's going to affect you more. Is it this one? This slide? Okay. Oh, this not in the workbook, huh? Oh, okay. I'll take note. Once you're done, let me know, Lin. Okay, good. Thanks. Let's move on. So I want to clear off these two slides, this first half table and the second half table, which is actually the 8 trigrams profiling. So I want to quickly run through before we end today's lesson. Yeah. All right. So that tomorrow we can straight away, put aside all these fundamentals. We can go in and look at the outer world. Okay. First of all, let's look at 乾卦 first. Now, 乾卦, this is the symbol. Where's my pen? 乾卦, let's look at 乾卦first. This is a symbol, three solid line. In terms of energy direction, there's no energy direction because heaven. If you look at heaven, heaven don't expand, don't go up or don't drop down lower. They don't. They just stay where they are. So heaven no direction at all. So it's no movement. Okay. And in terms of family member, yeah, we can use that to represent father, which we already talked about. Then in the organization member, we can talk about boss. We can talk about chairman, right? Or CEO or board of directors. Okay, board of directors and even suppliers. Now, can you think of any other thing relating to organization members that could be relating to 乾卦? Anyone? Basically means 乾卦 means the number one man. I think we have covered all in terms of organization, boss lah, chairman lah, CEO, board of directors. So if we go down to next level, right? If your own department, then the head of department is a 乾卦as well. Okay. Supplier is also 乾卦. Now, can anybody tell me why supplier is also 乾卦? Type something in the chat box. Why is supplier also considered a 乾卦? And they say without supply, there'll be no source. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, in another way, yeah, it is true. Andy, you're correct. Lin said they supply us with tools and equipment without which we cannot run the operation. Very good. So it's almost like our boss. Without the 资源, without the 资源, okay, without all this supplier support, we got nothing to sell. Basically, we can't run our business. Like what Lin said, we can't run the operations. Okay, so if you look at it in another way, let me bring out a clean sheet. If you look at this as a business note, okay, your business, now for everything in this universe, you need a yang and a yin to come into to give birth to something. Okay, to come together, intermingle, and then to give birth to something. Talk about babies, human babies. You need a father, a male and a female to come together, a yang and a yin to come together to be able to give birth to a baby. So if you think it in terms of a business as a baby, in order for this baby to be born and then to grow, you need a yang and a yin to come in. Now, just now we already know that the ing can means customer. Okay, so for a business to grow, for a business to have its meaning and significance, beside the ing part here, you need the yang to come in as well, which is the supplies. Okay, the supplies you have to come in so that the business can sell to the customer, and then because it's able to sell a lot, right? So it will go back to say that I need more supplies. Right? So it become a yang and yin, yang and yin. Yang and yin, they cannot go, they cannot exist independently. They are complementary, interdependent on each other. Okay, so I hope this example will also explain to you the importance of yin and yang. So 不要小看 yin, 不要小看 yang. Both of them must coexist harmoniously. If one of it got disrupted, I think Singapore got very worried during COVID time. Now, if you can remember, we need masks, and then Taiwan blocked our mask fabrication. Okay, we were worried because we don't have enough masks to go around, right? And then if let's say food supply, okay, some country ban the export of chicken to Singapore. We don't have supply. We got stuck. right? So supply is equally important. Is the yang part of a business or an organization that is able to feed the citizens, right? So with this, that's why suppliers can also be called yang. Okay. Any more? Any more that you can think of? 乾卦. Now, 乾卦is about creativity. Remember in the last week lesson, we talked about the thoughts. Okay, thoughts are yang, creative energy. Okay, and this yang creative energy is actually 乾卦, right? 乾卦. So therefore, if you talk about creative directors, have to think of a lot of funny thing one. 乾卦. Okay, because 乾卦is all about creative creations. Yeah. All right, next, if you talk about body parts, 乾卦means the head, like number one man is the command center. So it can represent the head. And because it's the head part, it can also means the memory, right? Memory. And lungs, it can also represent the lungs and the large intestine and the skin. Now in Chinese TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, lungs, large intestine, and skin, they are a package deal. Okay, they are a package deal, right? What it means by package deal means 里外, okay, 表里 means inside and outside. Even TCM, they make use of inner and outer world. Okay, one is inside, one is outside, right? So between lungs, large intestine, and skin, can you define which one is inside, which one is outside? 表里. 表 means 外表的表了哈，里 means 里面的里，所以是表里。Can you all tell? Lindsay confused. Okay, if it's confused, then never mind because we are not running TCM class. Then ignore my question. Ignore my question, because we are not running TCM class. But it just means that 乾卦, because it's metal, it can represent the lungs, large intestine, and the skin. Okay, so sometimes when you have health issues showing up in the workplace, for example, I feel cases like this, that the client asked me to go to their offices, to ask me to check what's wrong. Why every staff take turn to take MC, and it's not King MC one. It's really very sick one. Okay. Darren says Singapore is good model to look at. If you're keen on ban or cause funny problem to SG, they will become the Qian and make you out of business. If the good learning execution of Qian. That's right. That's also because Singapore government is very good with handling the Tai Gua. Okay, handling the Tai Gua. Okay. 安而不忘危. Okay, in Thai Gua, there is one verse in Thai Gua hexagram, hexagram 11, it's called 安而不忘危, meaning during peacetime, don't forget about disasters like banning of food lah, pandemic lah, we must need to have drawer plans. Okay, drawer plans, so that when something happen unexpectedly, you have a drawer plan, you can pull it out and use it to 暂时懂. Okay, to 暂时懂 before you can set up your multi-mystery task force or whatever lah. Right? Okay, so next, 乾卦 can also represent colors, white color, gold color, silver, or anything reflective like mirror, okay, like whiteboard. Whiteboard is also reflective, so officers, we tend to have whiteboard. So if it's somewhere near you in your vicinity, look out what sector is it showing up at. So in terms of shape, it represents a round shape. 5 element is metal. Okay, so 乾卦 is metal. Next, 兑卦. Okay, 兑卦 is a smaller version of 乾卦. Okay, smaller version of 乾卦. So therefore, it is a smaller metal. So a lot of characteristics 乾卦has, 兑卦 also has, because it's metal also. Now the only difference is that because it's a smaller metal, that's number one. And number two, there is a broken portion at the top there. Okay, broken portion at the top there of 对卦. So therefore, 对卦 can represent something broken. Okay, something broken, something not working, something damaged is all 对卦. That's why I say here broken. Okay, but broken means damage, spoil, not working, or maybe even injury, surgery is also 对卦, right? So things like scissors, knife, all these are 对卦, right? Now the secondary name for 对卦is called swam. Okay. Now for swamp, if you step into the swamp accidentally, the next thing you will find yourself is you are going to be sinking downward. So the energy of 对卦 is as such. The energy of swamp is as such. It will pull you down. So if it's pull you down, means the energy direction is downward. And in terms of family members, the third daughter or the youngest daughter. Now, in terms of organization members or the roles that you play, okay, it can mean, for example, expenses. If you're doing presentation, because presentation you do a lot of talking, then you are actually doing 对卦, or entertainment, or communication, because this one can represent the mouth. So anything to do with the mouth can be a 对卦. So like communication or call center, right? So any other thing that you can think of in terms of 对卦. So because it's a small matter, it has some characteristics that the 乾卦carries. For example, memories, lungs, large intestine, skin, and because it represents the mouth also, so it can mean the mouth, the teeth, and the throat. And because it's metal, the color is white, gold, silver, and the shape is also round. Plus, this time around, because it's broken, so there's another additional. Anything that broken, no matter whether it's triangle, wavy, line, square, whatever is broken, it has this 对 energy. Fire element is metal. Okay, so can you visualize your workplace now, your work desk now? Visualize your work desk. Okay, can you spot any 对卦 or 乾卦 in your vicinity? Type out in the chat box. If you can visualize in your work desk and find, hey, I have this 乾卦 or 对卦, that means metal energy lah. Here, I have this 乾卦 对卦there. Okay, what is the item? Type in the chat box. Anyone? Just visualize any 乾卦, any 对卦. Maybe you have a photo with your boss on your desk. That is a 乾卦there. Maybe you have a mirror on your work desk. That's a 乾卦. Maybe you have a whiteboard. You have a 乾卦 there. Anyone? Or there's no 乾卦or 对卦 at all. No metal energy at all. Didn't say a metal stand. Okay, what is that metal stand for? What is that metal stand for? Meant for diffusing essential oil, but it's so damn heavy. Oh, metal stand, huh? I'm not sure how it looks like, but if it's really, really very metallic, look at the overall picture together with the diffuser. Oh, because it's damn heavy, so use it as a metal stand. Okay, so if it's a metal stand with nothing on it, right? With nothing on it, then you can read it as a metal energy. Or if it's a round shape, then even more metal. Okay, so Lindsay, and cover the hole with a hard post-it pad. Okay, so if it's a heart shape, then it's a 离卦, right? It's a fire energy. So take note where you are placing this what do you call that? Where are you placing this stand? Okay, whether it is in the what sector is that? Place it at 离卦. Okay, can place it at 离卦. All right. So good. So that's the only 牵挂 that you have, right? Okay, good. Scissors all in the drawer, not exposed. Okay, good, 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 good. Okay, so with this, we cover the first two trigram, right? So let's move on to the third trigram. The third trigram is Li Gua. Let me clear the ink. Okay, the third one is Li Gua. Now, Li Gua, like fire, if you burn a matchstick, the flame will always burn upward, no matter how you hold the matchstick lah, or downward, upward, the flame is still burning upward one. So the energy of Li Gua is always upward. And we know that Li Gua is always upward and outward transmission. So anything got to do with outward transmission is always a Li Gua, and is always very showy. Okay, very showy. Huh? So it can represent the second girl. And since it's showy type one, it can represent marketing, okay, advertisement, what do you call that? Promotion. And it can also represent trading or contract, right? Because is to tie in what do you call that? The deal that you've made in terms of trading, therefore contracts, advertisements, finance. Okay, finance. Now, finance is a bit tricky here because nowadays finance is no longer the old school type of finance that we know last time. Okay, last time we know finance usually are those accounting department doing the balancing sheet and things like that. But now finance is a bit more high tech one. Okay, so finance do take with a pinch of salt here. Look deeper what this finance is actually doing, right? Okay, next, in terms of body parts, it can represent the eyes, the heart, the blood pressure, and the small intestine. Okay, so heart and small intestine in TCM terms, they are a pair. Okay, they are paired, a package deal lah. In terms of color, red, orange, pink, purple, right? And the shape is triangle, and the fire element is fire. Now, I want you to visualize your workplace again. Can you think of any Li Gua showing up in your workplace? Any Li Gua item showing up in your workplace? I'm sure there is. Yeah? Any Li Gua item at your workplace? No lay. Sure. Let me see. Any monitor? Any monitor? No monitor because you use laptop. Any lamp? Any certificate? Any candles? I don't think candles are in the workplace. Okay. Ceiling lamp. Okay, ceiling lamp don't count. Okay, ceiling lamp don't count because it's ceiling. But in your eye level, in your vicinity. Okay, so at least you may have your monitor. Okay. So Darren say, God, you number one enemy that make your eyes sore every day at work. Haha. Okay. Right. So monitor screen. Yeah, monitor screen. Li Gua. So you have to ask yourself, this Li Gua, fire energy, where is it? What sector is it sitting on? Right? So this is Li Gua. Any more? Your handphone, where do you place your handphone? Handphone is also a Li Gua. And if you display certificate, maybe because you attended some courses, you have certificate, you're displaying on your desk. Maybe you got EXA award, excellent service award, you want to display. Now, certificate is Li Gua. So where do you display your certificate? If you have a trophy, it's also a Li Gua. All right. So these are Li Gua that you need to take note of. So this is how you become mindful of what is showing up in your outer world. Naturally, because of your inner world setup, for example, if you feel that you don't have confidence, or confidence, or you find that most people are there to harm you, okay, then very naturally your network will shrink because start to get yourself alienated from peers. Okay, so your network will shrink. And when your network shrink, you find that it will probably show up in your southeast sector, in your Xingguang. We'll talk about the Xingguang later on. So it's something like this. Your inner world will reflect onto your outer world. Okay. So Lin say only monitor screen, then fine. If it's only monitor screen, then so be it. So just read the monitor screen. Yeah. Okay, next, let's move on and talk about the fourth trigram, the 正卦. Let me clear the ink. The 正卦. 正卦is the fourth trigram. Now, 正卦is like a bamboo, like that, like trees, plants, all the green things. Okay, so it grows from bottom up. So therefore, the arrow energy is going up, right? And it represents the first sun. Now, in terms of organization members, it could mean the head of department. If we look at the organization as a 太极点, then the head of department could be the 正卦. Okay, and because of 正卦 energy, it could be a project team, it could be projects, it could be business development, and equivalent, right? And equivalent. So any other functions or hierarchy rank they can think of that is 正卦. If not, start thinking at your workplace, is there any 正卦 items? Right? So in terms of body parts, it can represent the liver, the gallbladder, the tendon, the ligaments, and the legs. Color, green and blue. Okay, color, green and blue. Now, a lot of people have been asking me why blue is not water. Can anybody help me here? Why blue is not water and why blue is wood? Can anybody help me here? If you can recall, I think I explained that based on your understanding. I assume that in home frequency tuning and in the I Ching prediction class. So I'm sure you have attended one of those. So Lin said, sidetrack. Actually, I got many bosses sit around me. So I'm surrounded by 牵挂. You can say that. You can say that. Okay, you can say that. So depends on where they are sitting. If they're sitting behind you, not bad. Are they sitting behind you? Okay, so where was I? You don't have a permanent work desk, so it's a hot desk. Okay, if it's a hot desk, then you have all the advantage. Yes, so now I must choose the right seat and sit. Okay, after this program, you will know how to pick your hot desk. Okay, Lin, after this program, you will know how to pick your hot desk. Right? Be there early, pick your hot desk. I've helped many clients pick their hot desk. Okay, and then you find that a lot of people will ask them why they keep on sitting at that desk, particular desk, and then you find that their boss also want to sit beside them. I mean, the energy of that desk is good lah. That's why it start to attract competitors. All right, Darren say your kanchong spider boss, when you step in the office, he start to give you shocking surprises for you to go through, fill up with shock, laugh out loud. Okay, kanchong spider, you mean lean bosses, is it? Okay, so let's not talk about the blue. Why is it wood and not water? Anybody has any answer for me? Now, water is always black or gray because only black or gray has that ability to absorb. Okay, water absorb light. Okay, so black also absorb light. So therefore, black and gray. Now, for blue, from ancient time, okay, from ancient time, the word qing, the word qing is always equivalent to blue. Okay, in ancient time. So when the ancient text, when you read ancient text and say qing, it basically means blue. Okay, lü, it means green. Okay, for example, all ten, blue, black. So the blue comes out. It never say green, black, green, black. Okay, so in Korea, there is this presidential palace, not say palace, presidential complex called the Tsinghua Tai. That's our istana there. So Tsinghua Tai, they call it the blue house. They never call it green house. So therefore, even Korea and ancient Chinese, they recognize Qing as blue. Okay, so blue is Qing, Qing is wood, right? So I hope this one will help you clarify if let's say you have the same dubs as well. Okay, so in terms of shape, the 正卦 is line. Line means like that. Line means tall, vertical one. So for example, just now Lin talked about that the metal stand. If metal stand is something like very vertical pole like that, then that has the shape of a line. Okay, that has a shape of line. Okay, which is can be considered wood energy as well. Then the 5 element is wood. So is there any wood energy at your workplace? Is there any wood energy at your workplace? Okay, so any questions so far for these first 4 trigrams? Are you all still good with me? Lin say table and chairs are 正, right? Tables and chair, I don't really look into them as trigrams. Okay, to me, they are just normal table and chairs. But if they come in very strong colors, yes, then I may want to read them. Otherwise, I may not want to read tables and chairs. That's like I don't read sofa. I read the colors, but I don't read the sofa as a trigram. That's like I don't read the beds. Okay, beds, but I do read the color, but I don't read beds per se as a trigram. Is that okay? Okay, so any question? Good question, Lin. Okay, so are you all still good with me? Type a yes in the chat box if you are still with me and still good. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Lin. Thank you, Darren. Okay, let's move on to the other 4 trigrams. Yeah, the other 4 trigrams, and then we can call it a day, right? So with this done, we can put aside all the basic fundamentals. Okay, let's move on. The number 5th trigram is called 巽卦. 巽卦, it comes from the 乾卦, right? And then like suddenly the 乾卦that no leg, leg chop off. That's why it become a 巽卦, right? And then therefore, since got no leg, it can topple. So therefore, the energy is downward. Okay, and because it can topple, basically it means that 巽卦can represent not stable, fickle. Okay, not stable, fickle, or always changing, right? So this is 巽卦. So and because wind is can disperse, okay, and disperse. Wind can also penetrate through all the small little holes and crevices. So therefore, it can penetrate, disperse, and penetrates. So therefore, in business sense, right? In olden days, business world. Now, when you want to make sales, especially big businesses, right? They send out all their salesmen out every day, right? Okay, that's like insurance agent also. They send out all the insurance agent to go and canvas for business. So salesman is like a network of salesmen going all out, door to door, knock on the door and say, "Do you want to buy this frying pan from me?" Become like a network like that. Okay, so since it can disperse and spread it out, it become like a network. And since it can become like a network, it can also means communication. It can also means networking, telemarketing. It can also mean sales, right? And because it is like wind like that, now the wind can be like a rumors or gossip. Okay, rumors or gossip. So let's say your workplace, your southeast is damaged. It can also mean that your reputation could be at risk as well. It means somebody may want to make you have a bad name. Okay, maybe spread rumors about you, spread gossip about you, and things like that. Or worst case, okay, worst case may have legal suit. Okay, legal suit, court cases. Why? Because if you lose the court cases, it means that you are at fault, you're guilty. So therefore, it may affect your reputation as well. Okay, so businesses tends to be value reputations a lot now. So if you are in doing your own business, so do take note of this. Yeah. Okay, so Xingguo can represent the eldest daughter. Xingguo can represent sales, very important one, because all businesses need sales. No sales, this business will sooner or later does collapse. Yeah, reputation, very good, very important. Communication, networking, and telecommunication, telemarketing. Yeah, so all these are about communication and dispersing and networking and things like that. Okay, so body parts, because Xingguo is the yin counterparts of Zhen Gua. Zhen Gua is like bamboo, is like yang wood energy. Xing Gua is like a yin wood energy. So in terms of plants, for example, it's like a what do you call that? A creeper plant. It's spread. Okay, it's spread. Huh? So and Zhen Gua is a yang wood energy. So it's like those bamboo go upward one. Okay, in terms of body parts, it can means liver, gallbladder, tendons, ligaments, buttock, uterus, womb area, blood vessels, hair, and nervous system. So all these you see in our body parts, they are like network like that, distributed all over the body. That's why they are Xingguo. Okay, color, because it's wood energy, green and blue. Line, the shape is the line. Okay, and the fire element is the wood. So if you know your north, south, east, west of your workplace, how is your north? How is your southeast? Okay, how is your southeast? Yeah, how is your Xingguo? Okay, next, Kangua. Okay, number 6 one, Kangua. So Kangua, the shape itself, it looks like water. So this is a water. And water, like you can't step onto water, right? So the moment you step into a body of water, you will sink in. So the energy is downward. And you represent the second son in the family context. But in terms of organization members, it can represent the deputy. Okay, deputy, yeah. It can also represent consultant, right? Consultant, because you use the brain, ma. Kan is about the brain, ma. Clever, intelligent, strategic. So consultant, advisor, or can be a strategist. Okay, strategist, or it can mean logistic, and can also means research. Are you doing any of these functions? If you are, then you may be holding on to a Kan trigram as well. Any other thing that you can think of in terms of function or in terms of organization members? Can you think of any hierarchy? We talk about logistic, we talk about already. Research, we talk about already. Advisor, we talk about consultant, strategist. Yes. Any more? Planning, a planner, because you need to use the brain to go and think all the way. Planning. So planning. Okay, so if you're a planner or you're in a planning department, then your department is a Kanqua department. So Lin say if our job contains a variety of tasks that may represent the various trigram, it's also possible that we have those trigram assigned to us, right? Yes, especially those pao ka liao one, pao ka liao. Okay, and you're wearing a lot of hats one, then you have multiple trigrams. Then you have to take care of almost all the trigrams already. You get a point. So very good point that you brought up, Lin. If you're pao ka liao one, it is even more important that you take care of all the eight sectors, because it's very likely that anyone damage, you will feel it straight away. It's either like, for example, if you're doing projects lah, and then after that you're doing budget lah, then after that you're doing I don't know, logistic lah. So any sector get hit, you find that, hey, how come this month so sway? My project cannot run. I always hit into obstructions. That's because your Zhen Guan got affected. Okay, and then maybe you clear your Zhen Guan. Then next month, maybe some other sector got affected. Then you find that, hey, how come today my sales breaking? I cannot hit the target. Something like that. So 一波未平,一波又起. So it's very important, if you're 包个料 one, then you need to really take care of all the eight sectors. Gosh, okay, I understand, Lin. Gosh. Okay. Can. Next, body parts for Kan Gua. You can represent the ears, kidneys, the bladder, the blood also, the blood vessels, and also the uterus, I mean the womb area, or full color. Okay, colors black and gray, not blue, black and gray. Okay, shape wavy, and then the fire element is water. Right, so much so for Kanqua. Any questions so far? Any Kanqua items in your workplace? Water cooler, toilet, what else? Maybe someone plays a ship figurine. So Lin say, just think it's impossible to take care of everything. Okay, don't let things that you can't do stop you from doing things that you can. Whatever you can do, you do. Right? So I know it's almost impossible because when somebody plays a ship, 船 on their desk and it's visible from your desk and it happens to be in the wrong sector, you can't possibly tell them to remove the ship, right? That's because it affects your feng shui, right? Okay, so you have to know how to do remedies as well, lah. Right? Okay, next, let's move on. Gengguo, number 7 trigram, Gengguo. So Gengguo is mountain. Now mountain is growing up from the ground, going all the way up as high as Himalayan mountain. So therefore, the energy is going up, right? It represents the third sun or the younger sun. And then in terms of organization, it can mean the rest, the general staff, lah, what I mean, or the support staff. Why support staff? Because Gengguo means the hand. The hand is used there to support. Okay. So therefore, it can mean the support staff. So anyone doing a support role, Gengguo. Like security guard, Gengguo. Quality assurance, Gengguo. Okay. Any other kind of support, lah, huh? Okay. So body parts, it can represent the stomach, the spleen, pancreas, breast, hands, fingers, nose, joints, spine, shoulders. Very rare that you have health issue showing up in the organization, but it does. Okay, from time to time, I've been asked to go to organization to look at health issue, right? So yeah, and of course, there's some telltale sign to tell why everyone is falling sick one by one. Okay, color yellow and brown, and then the shape is square, and fire element is earth. So that is Gengguo. Any Gengguo in your workplace? Or any other organization ranking or functions that you think we did not cover? My video is gone. My camera is gone. Can you still hear me and see the slides? Can you can't see me, never mind, because I'm not that important. But what's more important is you can hear me and see the slides. So very good. So let's proceed. Okay, so let's proceed with the last one. Okay, with the last one, called the Konqua. Okay, I'm back. Okay, Kunqua. Kunqua is the last trigram. And you'll find that out of the 8 trigrams, right, Kunqua has the most stroke. Okay, one, two, three, four, five, six strokes. Most strokes lah, among all the 8 trigrams. So it can means masses. Masses means a lot of things. So could means a group of things, could means a collection of things, could mean masses lah. So in terms of energy direction, no direction, because the earth that you're stepping on, it can't grow any taller, it can't grow any lower. So it's the earth. Okay, so no direction. That's like the heaven. Right? In terms of family members, mother, organization members, customers, or customer service, or employees, or human resource. Right? Warehouse. Warehouse can also be known as a kunqua. Okay, so body parts could be stomach, could be spleen, could be pancreas, and breast. Okay, color yellow, beige, brown. Shape square, and then the fire element is earth. Right, so with this, I've completed all the 8 trigrams. Okay, all the 8 trigrams, and that will help you in tomorrow lessons how to spot things in your workplace. Right. So all these things, in case you need some reading companions, okay, you can get one of my this ebook, okay, ebook on the universal profiling system, which we'll talk about in specifically this profiling system, the eight earlier heaven 8 trigram system. Yeah. Okay. So right now, any questions that you may have on this module? This is just half of the module. Tomorrow we're going to continue with this module 4. I'm not done with module 4, but that's half of it. Any quick question? Because I think this would be a logical stop for today's lesson. I don't want to go any further in. Any quick questions? If not, shall we go through the quiz session and then test your understanding of today's lesson? Is that okay? Right? Now, if you have questions, do type in. I will answer them. Okay, come. The question number 1, yin and yang are relative and observer dependent. Yes or no? Yin and yang are relative and observer dependent. Yes or no? Okay. Yes, the answer is yes. Yin and yang are relative and observer dependent. So very good. Lin say observer dependent question mark. Okay. When I say observer dependent means the thing that you see and the same thing that I see to you could be yin, to me could be yang. You get my point? So this is what it means by observer dependent. Can I? Okay, good. Now, next question. The quality of your yang depends on how you leverage on the yin that comes before it. Yes or no? I repeat, the quality of your yang depends on how you leverage on the yin that comes before it. And they say yes, Lin say yes. Very good. So we can't tear them apart. We cannot say that we just want the yang, we don't want the yin. Same thing with the coin. We cannot say we only want this side, we don't want the other side. We can't do that. So it's a package deal. Since it's a package deal, then we must learn a way how to make use of the yin to flourish our yang. Right? Okay, next. Yin yang. Which one is not a form of yin energy? Bright, female, dark, heavy. I repeat, which one is not a form of yin energy? Bright, female, dark, heavy. And they say bright. Okay, bright. Anyone different answer? Lin say bright. So very obvious. Very obvious. So having said that, yin energy is not say good, not say bad. It's just neutral. And then same with yang. Okay, same with yang. Next. Vibration of the similar frequency repel each other. Yes or no? So as long as the similar frequencies, they will repel each other. Yes or no? No. So what should it be if it's no? They should synchronize. They should, yeah, very good. The answer should be vibration of similar frequency. They will attract each other. Okay, they will attract each other. So therefore, what shows up in your life right now is what you have been attracting all this while. So whose fault? Nobody's fault. Okay, nobody's fault. You can't blame somebody who pushed something to you. All right, it is just that because of this attraction energy, it just shows up. The universe will just conspire to make this thing shows up because you were attracting this kind of energy. So if a 小人 shows up, that means in some way you have set up the energy in such a way that you will attract 小人. That's about it. Okay, so no one's fault. It's just energy problem. Okay, next. Synchronicity is a form of guidance from universe. Yes or no? Synchronicity is a form of guidance from universe. Samuel say yes. Lin say yes. Very good. The answer is yes. Huh? So can you name me one example of synchronicity? Numbers. Very good. Okay, continuing from these questions, how do you interpret what shows up in the form of synchronicity? How do you interpret? It's very important to know that there's such thing called synchronicity, and when it shows up, it's also equally important to know how to read them. Yeah. So it can comes in many form. One of the form, like what Lin has shared, is numbers. Okay, it can come, for example, 111, double one or double two or 1212. You know, the kind of duplication, right? We call that angel numbers. And it could maybe come in the form of messages, maybe through TV, movies, or dramas and things like that. So yeah, so Lin say interpret the subtle messages. Yeah. So if it is very nice positive numbers that shows up, like for example 111, 222, all these things, this is a confirmation that what you have been doing, the choices that you recently made, are in order, on the right track. So let's say it's not numbers, but it comes in the form of messages. Okay, interpret the subtle messages. Is it positive or negative? If it's positive, it's a confirmation. Is a negative, right? Then it is actually trying to whisper to you, say, "Hey, 趁早回头." Okay, 趁早回头 means you turn back as early as you can, or make adjustment as early as you can. Don't go any further. Okay, so it's actually redirecting you to the correct path, right? So if you ignore, okay, if you ignore, then you just have to continue on to the wrong path, lor, and then find that the problem will start to snowball bigger and bigger and bigger until it turn into a monster you can't control later on, right? So sometimes it happen this way, yeah. Okay, so now that you have learned this, so pay attention to your outer world, yeah. Okay, good. Let's move on. Now, when confirmation shows up, or when synchronicity or whispers shows up, usually I will say thanks to the universe, as a form of gratitude. Because I think in the power of intention class, I've mentioned that when you do gratitude, okay, when you do gratitude from your heart, you actually elevate your frequency, your vibrations up to around 900 hertz, okay, which is pretty high, right? So I will want to do that. Okay, good. Next, which trigram represent the elder son? 坎卦、艮卦、乾卦、震卦. I repeat, which trigram represent the elder son? 坎卦、艮卦、乾卦、震卦. Samuel say 震卦. Okay, Lin say 震卦. So the correct answer is 震卦. D, 震卦. Very good. Next, name two office items that vibrates at the frequency of Kan trigram. Name two office items. Just think back of your workplace lah. Name two office item that vibrates at the frequency of Kan trigram. Okay, Lin say pantry. Very good. Number one. How about the next one? Now, if your pantry got only microwave, got only microwave oven, or toaster, and no wash hand, no basin, no water cooler, no fridge, then the pantry basically is the 离卦. Coffee machine. Oh, very good, very good. Okay, sink, fridge. Okay, all these good. All these are examples of trigram and commonly seen office items. So do take note. But usually pantry are out of sight. But in case it is in your line of sight, read them as well. Read them. Next. Every office item can only be represented by a single trigram energy. Is that yes or no? I repeat, every item found in the office can only be represented by a single trigram energy. Okay, Andy say no, Lin say no. Okay, very good, very good. So don't go away with the thinking that every item can only carry one energy. It can carry multiple energy. Now, what item carry the most energy? The most number of energies? So far, based on experience, uh, pictures, pictures, photos carry the most number of energies, right? So, for example, let me pull out a white sheet. Let me just sketch a simple picture. Um, let's say this is the picture. Let's say I have a sun here, okay, and I have mountain, okay, and then mountain there is a water, okay, and then by the beach side there is a coconut tree, okay, and then there is a aeroplane flying. All right, name all the trigrams that you can see in this picture. Name all the trigram that you can see in this picture. I have a sun there, I have a mountain, I have ocean, I have coconut trees, and I have an aeroplane flying. Name all the trigram that you see in this picture. Okay, all five. Okay, all five. Is it all five? I think all five, except yeah, all five. You have wood energy, you have fire, you have earth, matter, yeah, matter, and you have water. All five. Okay, Lin say kun, kun. Uh, actually, kun not really. Gengguak, mountain is gengguak. Okay, now matter could be from the aeroplane. Matter could be from aeroplane because aeroplane could be a very big piece of matter. It can also be a xingguo because it's flying, right? So yeah, aeroplane carries matter and xingguo, right? The sun is the li guo, which is fire. The this one mountain is the geng guo, which is the earth. Okay, the ocean is water, which is the kan guo. Coconut tree is wood energy, which is the zhen guo. So can you see a simple innocent picture like this? It carries so many energies, right? So yeah, this is one from experience. If you have pictures lying around, please take a good look at it. What energies is emitting out from the picture? Okay, next. HR department is represented by Kan trigram. Yes or no? HR department represented by Kan trigram. Yes or no? No. So what trigram should that be? Thank you, Lin. Thank you, Samuel. Lin say is Kun trigram. Yeah, Kun trigram. Very good. So HR is represented by Kun trigram. Okay, next. Marketing department is represented by Li trigram. Yes or no? Okay, thank you, Samuel. Yes. So thank you, Lin. Yes. Marketing department is represented by Li trigram. Okay, so far we talk about all the department. Did we mention your department? Did we leave out your department? And you don't know what your department trigram is? Or do you know your department's trigram? So silence, I take it as you know your department's trigram. Okay, so we have it. We have that covered. Okay, good. Let's move on. Within your own department, the HOD is represented by within so the 小太极 shrink down to lower level within the department, the HOD is represented by 乾卦、震卦、坎卦、艮卦. Which one? I repeat, within the department, the HOD is represented by 乾卦、震卦、坎卦、艮卦. 乾卦. Thank you, Lin. So the correct answer is 乾卦, because within the department, he's the Atao already, he's a king already. So his HOD is 乾卦. So thank you, Lin. Next, look at this picture, this item. What is the trigram energy of this office item? 震卦、乾卦、巽卦、坤卦. I repeat, what is the trigram energy for this office item? 震卦、乾卦、巽卦、坤卦. Samuel say 震卦. Okay, correct. That's correct. So the correct answer is 震卦. So it's not 巽卦, Lin, it's 震卦. Yeah, that's right. Okay, good. Because it's vibrating and moving. Yeah. Okay, moving as not as like got legs like that can move lah, but it's vibrating. Okay, good. All right. So that's the end of the quiz session. So that's also marks the end of today's lesson. Just to wrap up. Okay, just to wrap up. So we learned today in this unlocking the code of the nature, right? So we learned two ways of communicating with the nature. Number one is synchronicity, and number two is looking at the principle of oneness. And then after that, we move in, talk about the universal profiling system, where we can easily profile office items into the 8 trigrams. Okay, and with that, we are only half complete module 4. So tomorrow, come back on time, 2 p.m. I'll open the door at 1:45, so come in early so we can start on time, and then we can complete module 4. Yeah. Okay, so before we go, can you type in the chat box one-liner? What have you learned today that you can bring forward in your life? Any insights, basically? Anyone? What have you learned today that you can bring forward in your life? Lin say law of oneness. Okay, good. 天人合一 Law of oneness. Any more? Okay. Can. So thanks for your time. I won't hold you back anymore. Just before you go tomorrow, next lesson, lesson 4 is tomorrow, 2 p.m. Okay, 2 to 5 p.m. So come in on time. Right. So have a good rest, and I'll see you back tomorrow. Right. Bye bye.